Listen, the old you have to die out to make room for the new you. I'm going to say it again. The old you have to die out to make room for the new you. Check this out. I let a property go today. I had this property for 8 years. I had this property when I was riding around cutting in my with my first initial setup. I had this property when I was riding around cutting in my old 86 Chevy truck. I had this property when I was riding around cutting with a 5x10 trailer and a 42-inch Exmark Quest. That's how long I've had this property. Right, fast forward 7-8 years. I was there today, mulching the leaves. Miss Clark came out, as she always done. I said, Miss Clark, what I'm gonna do? Probably come back one more time at the end of January. You should be good to go to spring. Good to go until spring. That's awesome, Gibson. Thank you. I said, but I won't be taking the property on next year. It was like a moment of silence, like a shock. I said, well, the reason being, I said, I'm eliminating my Gaucher route, and I'm only staying in Ocean Springs now. I said, you're not the only property. I said, I have 5, actually 3. I have 5 that I'm letting go on this side of town. I'm gonna only be sticking with Ocean Springs. She didn't want to hear that. That's fine. That's totally fine. She said, well, you've been with me for 8 years. You know, I hate to lose you. And here's where you cannot get emotional with things like this, because you can, Gibson, that was when you first started. And yes, that's true. But at some point, you have to grow past that. Some point, you have to grow past that. At some point, you was a worker on your job. Then you moved up to supervisor, foreman, or management. Then once you moved up to management, you learned the ins and outs of the trade. And another company seen how you operate, and they wanted to steal you from that company. And you can go to your boss and be like, hey, Doug, I appreciate everything. Let's say you're working for Verizon, whatever. I'm going to AT&T. Well, Gibson, we gave you a chance. Gibson, we trained you from a floor employee to the head man, and now you're telling me you're going to AT&T because they're offering you more money? But not only that, Doug, it's closer to home. I don't have to drive an hour anymore. It's closer to home. And honestly, Doug, the pay is about the same. The benefits about the same, but I'm closer to home. I can be there for my family. You cannot get emotional with things like this. Is business. Doug, this business. I'm gone. Appreciate the opportunity. Here's my 2-week notice. I'm gone. And you see, guys will fight me on this because they look at it as, well, see, man, you let the money dictate your decisions instead of connecting with the people. Let me explain something to you, Playboy. This is about money. This right here, this is about money. I'm sorry, this is not about money is what I'm trying to say. This is not about money. This is about being efficient. Let me give you an example of what I mean. No doubt in my mind, the money I was making from Mrs. Clark, I will make that back as soon as the spring hit. That property will be replaced. That's not a problem. What a lot of y'all have to learn to do is you have to find your lane and dominate. You can't be jumping from lane to lane to lane, weaving in and out of traffic. You find your lane, put that baby on cruise control, and dominate. You execute your lane. I'm gonna give you a better example because a lot of y'all love sports. You can't be a LeBron James jumping from city to city to city only to win a championship. You see that? You got to be the Michael Jordan of your industry. Stay in your lane, stay with one city, and dominate. Back to back to back champion. LeBron will never get the respect of a Michael Jordan. LeBron should have stayed in Cleveland and dominated. He could have built a winning squad in Cleveland. LeBron could have been what Kobe Bryant was to the Lakers. LeBron could have been that to the Cavaliers. What the Bulls was to Jordan, LeBron could have been that with the Cavaliers, but he chose to jump around. The reason why I'm the #1 lawn service in my area because I chose my lane and dominated. I'm not going to Biloxi. I'm not going to Gulfport. I'm not going to D'Iberville. I'm not going to Pascagoula. I'm not going to Goshen. I'm not going to Moss Point. I'm not going to Pascagoula. I live in Ocean Springs. I shop in Ocean Springs. I eat in Ocean Springs. I sleep in Ocean Springs. I'm going to dominate in Ocean Springs. Gibson's lawn service trucks will only be in Ocean Springs. I don't have to put thousands of miles on my trucks every year. I'm only in a 5-mile radius. I can take one truck and it'll last me 10 years, it'll last me 10, 15 years in business because I'm in one area. I'm not jumping all over trying to make, you losing. You will forever lose. You're losing. You are losing and you will continue to lose. You have to get in one area, dominate. Those people should know who you is in your city. You think these other lawn guys don't know who Gibson's lawn service is? They do. You think these homeowners don't know who Gibson's lawn service is? They do. Some of them don't like you because you got to let them go. Some of them don't like you because you have to raise your prices. Some of them don't like you because you run a tight ship. I'm gonna be honest, everybody eating off Gibson's lawn service. Everybody eating off Gibson's lawn service. So then people think you bragging and I'm not. This is just what it is. There is no NBA player that will sell more basketball shoes than Michael Jordan. I'm not trying to have 4, 5 trucks on the road, 10, 20 employees. Listen, bro, I'm gonna be honest. The most of them guys you see with 2, 3, 4, 5 trucks on the road, they not making money. They're not making, well, you saying that because you jealous. Listen, bro, listen. Once you find your niche, once you stay on one side of town and stop jumping all over town, a solo guy can make $150,000 a year. And see, that right there, what I just said, a lot of y'all already, man, it got full of crap. They don't, you see what I'm saying? They don't know that. And I'm telling you, this is possible. If you stay on one side of town, one area, and dominate, you can make $150,000 a year as a solo guy. You will be stretched thin, but you grow out of that. Dissolve the top, expand the bottom, raise your prices. Right? Let's say you got 90 properties. Let's say you got 90 properties, making $150,000 a year. At the end of that year, I want you to do a $10 increase. 10 people will drop off. The other 10 will say, let's do it. Now you will be making the same amount of money, but with less work. But your phone still is going to ring off the hook. Put a guy in the passenger seat. Put a guy in the passenger seat and grow through it. And then I want you to put another guy in the truck. Grow through it. So then you will go from $150,000 to $250,000. With 2 more guys? Yes, with 2 more guys. If you do it right, let me show you something. Remember I said a solo guy can make $150,000, but he's going to be stretched thin. You hire a guy, pay him $40,000 a year. You would jump up to, you have to recoup the $40,000. So when you hire that guy, he's probably only going to bring you an extra $50,000. And in reality, he's just going to make an extra 10. You have to grow through that. So now you're making $200,000 a year. Once this guy gets seasoned, you're going to jump up to about $250,000. All right, once he's seasoned. But if he watch the ins and outs, he's going to go do it himself. He's going to leave you. But once he's seasoned, you at $150,000. Now, you never wanted your employee to have you over a barrel. I remember y'all watched that video. I said your employees really got you over a barrel, and a lot of y'all got tender. A lot of y'all got tender behind it, but it's true. Y'all listen. If you're an employee and this watch, if you are an employee and you're watching this, you have your grass forming over a barrel. Look, I got to get over because I got to go to this piece of trash full-time job. You better let me over, Junior. Sitting there looking crazy, just got off of work. Listen, if you watching this video right now, look over at your boss and say, hey, bro, I want $2 hour raise. He gonna kick, scream, whine, and holler, but he got to give it to you because he needs you. Look, when he out there on the mower, he sweating. Look, when he out there on that doggone mower, he's sweating like crazy, dripping. You sweating and dripping too. So you need to go get paid for your sweating and dripping. He making it. Trust me, he making it. Tell him you want a $2 hour raise. That's it. And now look, pass the phone to the head. Look, take the phone, get. Yes, sir.
Both your brake lights are out.
Okay. Thank you, man. Thank you. Man, my brake lights out. I'm sitting there talking trash. Look, pass the phone to your to the guy in the back, and tell him the same thing. Hey, I want a raise. I want a $2 raise. Dude, I'll probably get a ticket on the way home. Golly, that dude, he kind of threw me off. Look, I don't know where I left off, but look, y'all got to stay in one area and dominate. That's what you have to do. Stay in one area and dominate. Stop running around all over town. It's not worth it, man. You run around all over town. It's not worth it. I promise you it ain't worth it. Stay in one area, dominate. That's my plan. One area, dominate, dominate, dominate. Sounds like you're trying to become a household name. Man, heck nah. Look, you don't have to, look, listen. You don't have to be a household name to make $250,000 a year. You don't have to be a household name to make $250,000 a year. And like, look, in my area, you got 2 big companies in my area. You got 2 big companies in my area. All right. And they're a lot. One of those companies have branched off to get into construction, heavy construction, but they still do the lawn maintenance side. And you got another lawn maintenance side in my area. I guarantee you that other company probably making about $1 million a year. But that's a lot of money. It's not. It's really not. When you have 4 to 5 trucks on the road, employees, equipment, a shop, $1 million is not a lot of money. Because number one, you got to pay everybody a salary. You have to pay everybody a salary. Let's say you're paying everybody $50,000 a year. I have seen 5 trucks, and each truck probably got like 2 to 3 people in it. So you do 15 times 50,000. Whatever number you come up with, you have to constantly buy equipment. You got to keep trucks on the road. You got to pay for a doggone shop. It's probably paid for. It's probably not. $1 million is not a lot of money. Now when you got a solo guy running around making 150, and you got some guys with help in the truck making a quarter. That's where your niche. See, my niche ain't to have 2, 3, 4, 5 trucks on the road. I told you I'm only going with 2 employees and I'm done. Why are you going with 2 employees? Number one, my job will be easy, and whenever I want to step away from the business for 2, 3 days, they can handle it. That's how I'm doing it. That's how I am doing it. But look, y'all, it's been fun. I'm about to go punch this clock at this doggone job. Don't want to go, but it is what it is. This is the only way we can get to the next stage in business. It's the only way we can get to the next stage in business. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep moving on. Look, and another thing I want to put out on these videos, right? Listen, everybody's life is not smooth and perfect how you see on the internet. Okay? You look, you see guys in this industry and you think everything they're doing is smooth. Every play they make is a success. And every time they run the ball, they run it into the end zone. It's not. We take losses in business. We make bad purchases. We make bad decisions. We do dumb things. And some of the things we do cost us a lot. Our relationships aren't perfect. Look, one thing I never did was have my wife on my YouTube channel. She may have popped up in a video here and there, but I'm not going husband and wife team it out. On what I mean by husband and wife team, I'm making videos and I got my wife in the video and we smiling like everything good. Like, I am a normal married guy. I'm a normal married guy. We go through it. We argue. We have disagreements. We don't get along all the time, but the majority of the time we do. Look, 6 days out of 7, everything pretty much smooth. And you had that 7th day where you got to go back and forth a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's a little thing called life. Don't get caught up in that. I know you, listen, I was scrolling through YouTube and I ran across what they call all couples videos. And you know, look at these people, boy, they make like everything's so smooth. They got a perfect relationship and they so in love. That's cool, but that's not life. Same thing with business. That's not life. If me just working one side of town, it works for me, that works for me. If you have to jump from town to town to make that work for you, make that work for you. All I'm saying is count the cost. Count the cost of what it really takes for you to operate your business, jumping from city to city, town to town. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing's perfect. You might have to do, look, you might be cutting this $400 property that you hate cutting, but that $400 property is paying your truck note. Just give it time and figure a way how to get out of it. But look, that's it for me, man. I got to go.